So, growing up as a pastor's kids and missionary kids, or sometimes we talk PKs or MKs, it comes with its own challenges, own unique challenges. And while it can be a rewarding experience to grow up and to be part of a missionary family, a PK family, there are some difficulties that are specific to this group of kids, or this group of young people. I'm writing an article to address the issues of pastors' kids, missionary kids, and I wanted to explore the challenges that they go through, the PKs and the MKs are facing, and provide maybe some biblical insights, solutions by the Bible, Ellen G. White, and other valid sources that can help us better understand this specific group of young people. So one of the biggest challenges that PKs and MKs get to face is the pressure to be perfect, or it's the pressure of being perfect. You know, we hold them in a certain standard that we place that amount of pressure of being perfect among these young people. And as children of the church leaders, they are often held in high standards and are expected to behave impersonally. And this is a heavy burden. It can be a heavy burden on a lot of these young people, and it can lead to the feeling of guilt and inadequacy. I know that we also have elders kids and other church leaders kids who also face the same kind of challenges and same kind of expectations, but I just want to focus more on the pastors' kids and the missionary kids who actually go through it a lot of times. So the Bible acknowledges the pressure that comes with leadership role. And so the challenge that missionary kids and pastors' kids get to face is the feeling of being isolated or disconnected from their peers as well. That's a very big problem. Because we are often moved, frequently. When we are sent to live in certain areas, and in most cases remote areas, it is difficult. It becomes difficult for young missionary kids to grow up to have long-lasting friendships. Because of the frequent movement that they get to have, and that becomes a long-term real issue. Additionally, they may also struggle to relate to their peers. And especially when they do not share the same kind of unique experiences and perspectives of life and how they see life. And so the Bible offers some comfort to those who have that kind of feeling of isolation or that feeling of being alone. And you can find that in a lot of our promises in Psalms and Proverbs, and there's one that's in Psalms chapter 68 verse 6. It says that God sets the lonely in families. He leads them out the prison with singing, but the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land. This verse can also remind us that God cares. God cares for those who have that feeling of loneliness and not being able to relate. And that He has a plan to bring them into the community with others. And so it's a very big challenge, and there's a lot of other challenges that I'm going to also mention. But I've been writing about that, and I felt like it was so important to address this in abstract, and that's why I am coming to you in this video. So additionally, Ellen G. White has also written in the counsels to parents and teachers and students that the youth need more of the society of those who are advanced in experience, who can advise and help them in any way possible. Page 396. This quote, okay, this quote reminds us that it is important, okay, in principle, it is important for PKs and MKs to have that positive role models and mentors who can guide them through the challenges of growing up, people with experiences that could help guide them in the experience of growing up to become young people who contribute meaningfully to the society. Okay, so PKs may struggle with finding their there's the other issue that young PKs and MKs get to face is the struggle of finding their own identity and purpose in life, and you will get to see that as a common problem because their parents are often so focused on ministry work, okay, that it can be difficult for them to carve out their own path. Okay, their parents, okay, they're so focused on ministry that it can be difficult for them to carve out their own path and discover their own passion and talents. And a lot of parents, especially when it comes to PKs and MKs, who expose them to building their interest in certain areas, get to have that identity. But for a lot of them, they question their identity and they leave the church. So the Bible encourages us to seek God's guidance in finding our purpose in life. Okay, and as we know in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 to 6 says that trust in the Lord. We should trust in God's plan in our life according to His will. Let's align our plans with Him and ask Him to help us raise these young PKs and MKs. According to one of these articles that I got to read that talks about the PKs and MKs, PKs and MKs often struggle with adjusting to new cultures. And one very, very truthful statement. We often struggle to adjusting to new cultures and languages as our parents get to move from different communities from one end to the other to do mission work, and that can lead to feelings of disorientations, okay, and homesick, and there's a lot of other reasons, and I'm going to just list a few down, and I will give you that abstract view, and then later on I could complete my article and I will share it with you all. But one of those points is the lack of privacy. Okay, in an article by a relevant magazine that talks about PKs and PKs and MKs often have to live in mission compounds where every move is observed and scrutinized by church members and mission supporters. A missionary home or a pastor's home who live in a compound, who are trying to find their own identity. The other thing is high expectations, as we mentioned. Expectations, as we mentioned. And there was an article by the Gospels Collision. I'm highlighting this. PKs and MKs often have that pressure. Often have that pressure, or often feels that pressure to follow in their parents' footsteps. Me reading this line, and as I was writing, I smiled, because you have that pressure of following your parents' footsteps and entering into ministry work themselves. Okay, entering into ministry works themselves. And this can be a very big challenge if the child has a different aspiration or interest. Financial instability is another thing. This can be especially difficult for MKs and PKs who may miss out on experiences and opportunities due to lack of funds. According to an article by the Christian Sanctuary, pastors and missionaries often experience burnout due to demands of their work. Okay, burnout syndrome is a very big issue too as well. And so due to the demand of work, it can affect them. So overall, the challenges that the pastors get to go through, and the workers, the mission workers get to go through, and the missionary kids get to face vary from different complex situations. But it is important, okay, it is important that you as a church provide that support and resource to help these families ensure that they are able to thrive and fulfill their calling without sacrificing the well-being of their families. So that's the abstract. There's a lot of things that I can go on talking about, but I would stop here and keep on writing on that point. If you have any important point to share as a PK or someone who's seen missionary kids, leave a comment below, and we'll continue to help our workers, our mission workers, not exhaust or do injustice to their own families, while at the same time serving the organization and serving God. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.